Yo, yo, we here. We back. Now, know it's a little bit later than I said. Originally I posted that we'll be going live at excuse me, around 10 p.m. But looks like we're going, like I said, I'm trying to make it the days that I can probably be around 12 a.m. 12 a.m. midnight, you know. Midnight's a little easier, midnight's a little better for me. Um Stay up late anyway, so it's no issue for me to be up late. So I'm naturally probably going to connect with a few night owls. I really don't do daytime streams. Um, Most of the time it's going to be the nighttime, midnight. Because we're talking about music. We're talking about music stuff. So today, we're talking about the truth about the music industry that no one tells new artists. Um, the music industry is very large, as we all know. It's a lot of people in it, a lot of prominent people. Um, Excuse me, I got a little cold. A lot of prominent people inside. So, there's a lot of people that I'm sure that you're fans of and people that you know about. But the music industry and the music business to me is a little bit separate. Okay. So the industry to me is kind of like the parties, the events, the social gatherings. The business part is how the money's made, which we're talking about royalties and publishing and masters and everything of that nature. So I'm going to talk about the industry a little bit tonight. I do want to get into the LaRussell thing because, man, the LaRussell situation has had the industry on fire right now because people want to know, hey, LaRussell, he sold, I believe he sold around 30,000 albums, um, D2C, direct to consumer, and Billboard is not tracking it. Billboard said that they're not going to uh, add him to the charts. Like I said, you got the music business, and you got the music industry. Two totally different things. Two totally different things. Billboard is a magazine, you know. They do track your sales, but they usually track your sales through a website or another industry called Luminate. They use Luminate, or they go through the DSPs. Your Spotify, your Apple Music, Amazon Music, everything of that nature. So I remember going on Even, and all of the Daymar Music Family's artists are on Even, because I want to focus on D2C because I want to make sure our artists make their money. Like I said, I don't have no disrespect toward the DSPs. I'm cool with Spotify. I'm cool with Apple Music. I understand that it's a business, but being that it's a business, I want to make sure our artists are getting paid appropriately. So Even provides a good platform to do that, which is why we also drop songs on Even as well. Um, but yeah, so I have to double check, but I believe Even you have a chance to report to Luminate because Luminate reports to Billboard, and so you can chart. Um, so I don't know if LaRussell didn't pick that feature. I don't know. I don't know his business. I don't know the way he set it up, but I do think it's crazy that he was doing a very large campaign and showing that, hey, I want to sell my album. I want to reach, I think he said like 100,000 albums sold. That was his goal. And he's not the most popular artist, but he's not unknown. People know what he's doing, and people know his know his goal because it was talked about. It was talked about on Twitter, YouTube, especially if you follow the music industry. It was very well reported what he was doing. So somebody at Billboard knew that, hey, this is what he's on. But like I said, with the music industry and the music business, a lot of times they don't mix. And what I mean by that is the industry is, hey, I want to go number one on Billboard. I want to post that, hey, artist Lil Ray Ray, his album debuts at #1 on Billboard. That's a marketing tactic. That's a selling tactic. You can command more money. You can probably play at more festivals. You know, people at trying to think of the big festivals, Coachella, Rolling Loud. You know, they obviously look for artists that have a big following, and you know, you can definitely go to them with that. Hey, I would like my artist to perform at Coachella or Rolling Loud. Now, if you know anything about especially festivals, they have different stages. So you got, you know, probably about 2 or 3 smaller stages. Obviously, there's tiers. So you got the lower stage. That's usually where you're not unknown because they have to be somewhat known to perform live there. But you know, lesser known than the headliners. So they perform on that stage, and then you got the stage above that, another stage above that, and then you usually have the main stage where your headliners perform. So you can use that as a tactic. You say, hey, my artist Lil Ray Ray, if there's any Lil Ray Rays out there, I'm giving you free promo. My artist Lil Ray Ray debuted at #1 on Billboard with his album. He sold, you know, 60,000 copies, and he debuted #1, or he debuted #1 on the hip hop charts because Billboard has different charts. Let's go see what first let's look up the Billboard hot, what's it? It's not hot 100, it's the top 200 albums. Let's see. Let me put that on the screen. Because I want people to see what I'm talking about. If you haven't never saw the Billboard charts, this is what they look like. So you got the Billboard 200. Let me put it on screen. There we go. Let's see. So right now, the #1 album is The Romantic, Bruno Mars. I haven't checked the album out yet. I haven't had the time, but I will check it. I do want to check it out soon because you know, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Bruno Mars fan, but you know, I do follow the music industry, and obviously he's pretty big in the music industry. So this is the first week that he's on. Peaked at #1, so he's #1, new. So this is what the charts. I don't believe I'm able to see the units. Let's see if we can see how many units it sold. I'll probably have to look that up on a separate. But let's go down the chart. #2, Bad Bunny. Debí tirar más fotos. 61 weeks. So you can kind of see what the music industry is doing right now. This album is a year old. Now, Bad Bunny just did the Super Bowl back in February, so about a month ago. So you know that's probably why it's probably gotten a big boost. But this is a very popular album. Last week it was #2, so it peaked at #1. Then you got I'm the Problem, Morgan Wallen, Octane, Don Toliver, peaked at #1. It's been on the charts for 5 weeks. The Art of Loving, Cloud9, Megan Maroney, The Mountain Gorillas, that's new. Taylor Swift, this has been on the chart for 22 weeks. So it looks like, oh look, you got SOS by SZA, 169 weeks. But yeah, so people, as I understand, you know, I get it, because artists, they want to debut on these charts. They want to be on these charts. You can go on the website and say, hey, I'm Bruno Mars and my album debuted #1. So you can command more money, you know. You can kind of tailor that to the business. Now, most people like to use it as an industry part because they're like, oh, I'm cool, I debuted at #1. You know, I could post that on Instagram, put it on my social media. You know, Billboard might do a page on you and say, hey, look at the new artist Lil Ray Ray debuts at #1. That's good for the industry part. And you can also tailor that to the business part. So the fact that La Russell sells 30,000 D2C, and you know he's not able to be on the charts, can that can hurt his industry status or his marketing status. Now it might help him because you know, he's been preaching independent. So that that definitely shows like, hey, look, this is what happens when you don't have the machine. You know, they find a way for you not to be on the charts. You know, he can kind of use that as like a battle cry or something of the sorts. But yeah, so a lot of people, that's a lot of artists, that's their goal, is to get on these charts, which I understand, you know, because like I said, it's something that plays a big role for your marketing. But you know, he's not able to be up there. Like I said, you know, people ask, well, why wasn't he able to be up there? Let's dive into that. Why was he not able to count? Why did they not count his sales? Look, it really boils down to the way he sold his album. If you're gonna be honest, it really boils down to that. So he sold most of his. I don't know if his album is on Spotify. I have to check that. I don't know if his album is on DSPs or not, but obviously he went through Even. That was a major role on how he sold his albums. Actually, let's look at it. Let's see. Russell. I pulled this up before. Let's go through. I think it was Something in the Water. So he sold 28,000 on Even. But his goal was 100,000. So let's look at it. So he did most of this stuff D2C, right? So Even obviously has a way you can do pay what you want, you know, pay $5, pay $10, you can sell it how you want. And basically Billboard kind of saw that as incentivizing and things of that nature. But I think what it ultimately boiled down to is they claimed that he did not sign his album up with Luminate. Like I was saying, Luminate is a company that you're able to upload your data to when your album sells or your music sells. They report that to Billboard. Let me show you what Luminate looks like. Like I said, excuse me, I got a code that I'm dealing with. So yeah, this is Luminate. Unleashing Entertainment's essential data, the most comprehensive analytics platform revealing the trends, behaviors, and insights across film, television, and music. So if you want your album to possibly chart, right? Obviously, you can drop your album on DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. But if you're doing some type of D2C or things of that nature, you have to register your song and or album with Luminate. There might be other platforms, but this is one of the most popular platforms that do it. But this is how you have to register your songs and your album. So I believe they're claiming that he didn't do that. So the 28,000 or 30,000 that he sold, they can't track it. And obviously I do air quotes because I mean you can if they want to, but the fact that he did everything D2C and he didn't have a major label behind him backing him, you know, a lot of people believe, you know, well, that's the game that's being played because, you know, a lot of these major labels are tied in with with Billboard and the charts and Spotify. You know, they have equity in them, you know. So obviously if I'm signed to a major label, if I'm signed to Sony Music, which is one of the big three, and you know, obviously they're gonna have their connections to get me to chart on Billboard or to get me to chart on some type of Spotify chart or be on Spotify one of the playlisting is easier if you're signed to a major label because they have, you know, relationships with the people that work there because obviously they have interest in there. So, you know, that's the best way to do it. But LaRussell was going the independent way. He was, you know, marketing himself and hey, I'm gonna do everything on my own. I'm gonna do the groundwork, boots on the ground, and promote my own way and set a goal, and it worked. Marketing is very strong. Advertising is very strong. Like, we've been through that multiple times of letting people know, look, especially new artists, look, if you don't market your song, it's not going to get seen. It's not going to get heard. You're not going to get seen or heard. I'm not saying you got to go do crazy dance trends or anything like that, but you got to do some sort of marketing, and not just ads. You're going to have to tell a story on your creation of the music or the music type, or some sort of way to make people connect to you so they can connect with your music. That's one thing I'll try to tell new artists, that hey, the people want to connect with you first. you know um they want to know, what why are you doing this, what's your goal of making music, why are you out here. They yes, you might have a good song, but why should they listen to your song? Do they resonate with you? Do they see themselves in you? Do they want to be you? Are you portraying a lifestyle that they enjoy, that they are attracted to? Some sort of inclination of that. I don't know, but you're gonna have to market yourself and sell yourself so that they can consume the music, and they can be, lifelong fans. If you think about anybody that watches this live, if you try to think about, especially if you're an artist, if you're an artist, try to do some reverse engineering. Think about the artists that you follow. Think about the artists that you love, that you listen to, that you follow, that you watch every day. Anytime they post a story, anytime they make an announcement, anytime they make a tweet, you see it, whatever. Think about why are you, interested in that artist? What makes you interested in the artist? Is it that y'all connect? It could just be the music. Is it just the music? Man, they make good music. But usually it's on a deeper level, especially if you're that well locked into them. Um, there's a reason why you're connected with them and why you follow them. You know, so I try to tell artists, hey, do some reverse engineering, because if you're an artist, obviously you listen to other music. Why do you listen to them, and then do the same thing that artist is doing and apply it to your own artistry? Hey, this artist, showed the process of him making the album. He made the album, he was making a song on live, and people got to, give inputs and yada 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 and whatever. And when the song came out, the people that were in that live now are going to listen to the song, because they're going to, remember, hey, I remember I was there, when he made that song. I was watching the live. I was part of the live when he made the song. He or she made the song. So that makes them instantly connected to that. They have some interest in that. You gotta be creative in the way that you market and that you connect with people. Um, that's just one of the way. But anyway, on the La Russell thing, like I said, most likely didn't use Luminate, or he did, and they're just and Billboard is trying to find a way to X him out, to discourage more independent artists from doing that, which I disagree, because I think it's a good sign to show, hey, you can still make money without being signed to a major label. Now, obviously, La Russell came out and he signed to Rock Nation. So, a lot of people think he sold out. I'm not going to say he sold out, but, to each his own. I'm a Jay-Z fan, so that ain't no issue to me. That ain't no issue to me at all. But another thing about the music industry that people don't talk about is talent. Unfortunately, it's not the main thing. And that's the part that sucks. And that's the part that makes a lot of talented artists frustrated, is because it's not the main thing. A lot of the most talented artists don't blow up, don't, get the recognition. Saha the Prince, he's somebody that I don't really listen to, but I know he wrote for he ghost wrote for Kanye. And I want to say there was a big song that he wrote. I don't remember, did he write for Travis as well? I think he wrote for Travis as well. I think he wrote Sicko Mode. Let's look it up. Saha the Prince. Probably a lot of people haven't heard of him besides the backpack rappers. Sicko Mode. Let's see. Oh, see, look, you can read for yourself. Saha the Prince is a key songwriter and artist credited with significant contributions to Travis Scott's hit Sicko Mode from Astroworld. Y'all know Sicko Mode. Huge song. Huge smash. Well, who are the two artists that perform on there? Travis Scott, Drake. Travis Scott, Drake. Saha the Prince is credited as a writer, a key songwriter. Significant contributions. He damn near probably wrote a lot of Travis's verse. No, no disrespect to Travis. I rock with Travis, but I'm a huge fan of Travis. But a lot of people probably don't know that. Shout out to the writers. Shout out to the ghostwriters. Oh shoot, leaked reference tracks showed Saha perform the vocals during the early stages of the song creation. A lot of these reference tracks get leaked. A lot of this stuff gets leaked. But yeah, Saha the Prince, probably somebody that never, a lot of people probably haven't even heard of him. Who was that? People don't know. But he wrote one of the biggest songs ever, one of the biggest hip hop songs ever. How many? Let's go to YouTube. How many? See how many just views. How many views they got? Sicko Mode. 1.3 billion views on YouTube. And a significant portion of that song was written by Saha the Prince. That shows you that talent in the music industry, kind of gets outweighed by branding, by appearance, things of that nature. Let's look up Saha the Prince. Let's see what he got. Saha, 79.1 thousand subscribers. I know he just wrote the song. I think he wrote the song dissing J. Cole. Whew. I don't know how that one's gonna go. Yeah, he just released a few songs. 194,000 views. He's talking about the good old days. He's talking about his time with Good Music. A lot of hip hop heads remember about Good Music. That was Kanye's label. Big Sean, Kanye, I believe 2 Chainz, maybe. I'm missing somebody. Big Sean, Kanye, 2 Chainz, Pusha T. They were all part of that. But Saha, I guess he was signed to there as well. But yeah, like I said, very talented. He obviously has to be talented because he played a significant role in the smash hit. But unfortunately, he's, I wouldn't say unknown because, like I said, obviously you can see he has a lot of views here. But I think it's safe to say more people know about Travis Scott than they know about Saha the Prince. I think that's pretty safe to say. So that just shows that, yes, you can have all the talent. Yes, you can make some of the best music, but if you don't know how to brand yourself, if you don't know how to connect with people, if you don't know how to be unique, and I'm not saying Saha doesn't know how to do any of these things. So I'm not dissing Saha. I'm just making an example. And I'm just showing someone who's very talented doesn't have the recognition of the artist that he wrote for. And, he basically wrote the song. But like I said, you gotta be on point with your branding. You gotta be on point with things that are I'm sorry, very important to the industry. If you're trying to have a huge role in the music industry, popularity, unfortunately, it plays a role. I wouldn't say unfortunately because popularity plays a role in damn near every aspect of life. I'm sure some people work at their jobs and they feel like the most popular person gets the promotion, the most popular person gets, the recognition and the good stuff. And yeah, popularism, I don't know if that's a word, is very important in the world. We have celebrities for a reason. If you're a celebrity, you might go to a restaurant and a non-celebrity could walk in and they say, hey, sorry, we're full. You need to make a reservation, we're booked, or whatever. But a celebrity walks in with enough recognition, and they're going to find them a table, even though they just told the person who isn't a celebrity, we don't have no more room. Sorry, you're going to have to make another reservation, or your reservation been canceled, or whatever. It's the world we live in. So, if you got thin skin, if your feelings get hurt, if you feel like everything should be fair, sorry, we're not in that time. That doesn't exist in this world. So if you're trying to gain traction in the music industry, you're going to have to build some sort of popularity, some sort of leverage, something of that nature, so you can have a command presence whenever you walk into places. If you're somebody who, makes good music and you're very popular and things of that nature, and then you walk into a studio session, you're recognized. People know what's going on. People know what's happening as soon as you step foot in there. J. Cole walks in the studio, people know what's going on. People know what's about to go down. Hey, no phones, no pictures, none of that. Hey, we get to it. I know I'm saying some of the big names: Drake, Travis, Kendrick. They got command presence whenever they're walking into places. But to say that they're the most talented artists ever, I mean, I don't think that's relatively true, because a lot, like we observe, a lot of the most talented people don't get the recognition of other people. Most artists, another truth about the music industry is most artists, they don't fail because they don't have good music. They fail because they don't know how to market their music. A lot of people get tired of me saying that. Like, oh, of course, you always got to say market music, market, how to market your music. It's a reason, we harp on that, or I harp on that, because that's one of the most important things. Market your music, marketing is one of the not basic, but it's a major key in business, especially if you're trying to make money. If you want to make money, you have to learn how to market. And you can never have too much marketing, in my opinion. Coca-Cola, I don't know how. Let's see. Let's look it up. I want to see Coca-Cola market. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a lot of money. $333.87 billion. And I'm pretty sure if you go on your phone, or you scroll, or go on YouTube, or watch TV, you're going to see a Coca-Cola commercial. You're going to see a Coca-Cola something. Hey, drink Coca-Cola. You're going to walk down the street and see Coca-Cola marketed somewhere, and they have $333.87 billion, and they still market it. Just think about that. I mean, they have all that money. Most people, who don't understand marketing, who don't understand business, are probably like, well, I got all this money. What am I marketing for? I'm obviously doing a great job. Yeah, but they're still marketing because they want to make more money. They want to get, they want to get new customers and new people that want to take part of their drink. So I'm a big harper on marketing, because I mean that's the only way you're going to gain fans in this industry. So if you don't want to market, either you're going to hire someone who knows how to market, or you're going to invest into a marketing team or something of that nature, or you're just not going to, be successful in the music industry. I mean, it's that cut and dry. It's basically that cut and dry. So another thing, a lot of people ask, what do labels look for? How do I get signed? How do I get signed to a major label? How do I get signed to a independent label? Hey, you run a music label. Why don't you sign me? Sign me. I make good music. I do good. I got songs and I know how to make music. How do I get signed? Or, and my usually question is, well, do you have any motion going? What you got going? I go look at your Instagram and you don't have no post. There's no story. You don't have no story. You haven't posted a story in 2 months. You haven't had an Instagram post in 3 months. You have no motion going. Who where's the engagement? You don't have any. There's no engagement. There's no one checking for you. A lot of labels today, they look for motion. They look for people who already have something going. So if you want to get signed to a big label, you want to get signed to a little label, you need to have motion going. You need to have, you know, something going for yourself. Whether you have streams, whether you have fans, whether you have a buzz or something, man, you gotta have something going, because the days of major labels, the days of an A&R, going to Starbucks and hearing somebody rap on the subway and like, oh man, that's good, man, and standing out there like, man, you got some talent, man. Here's my card. Come up to big music studios and let's meet. And them getting a record deal and that guy or girl going on to make billions of dollars from the music industry, that don't exist anymore. It may have happened at some point in time in the music industry. That don't exist anymore. Labels, if y'all haven't paid attention to what's going on, I'm not gonna get into economics, but people are not looking too good as far as money wise out here. As far as jobs, and right now we're going through some sort of conflict in the Middle East, and gas prices are going up. It's about to get real scary out here. I'm not trying to scare people, but it's going to start getting a little tight around here. And that's for labels as well, because they're in the business of making money. And then now you got AI coming up. I love AI, but you got AI coming up, and a lot of this AI is replacing humans. I think what's the guy name? Jack Dorsey, the dude that created Twitter. There you go, Jack Dorsey layoffs. Imagine losing your job to more possibility of AI. Yep. Let's see. CEO Jack Dorsey blames AI for recent drastic layoffs, and other companies could follow his lead. AI-induced job loss risk becoming self-fulfillment prophecy. Jack Dorsey just laid off 4,000 people because AI is becoming big. Labels are doing the same thing. They're downsizing. Let's look up Atlantic. Atlantic is under Warner. Warner is one of the big three. If you don't know what the big three are, it's Warner Music, Sony Music, and UMG. Those are the big three major labels. See, this was in August, published August 2025. Let's look at it. All right. Atlantic promotion department hit with layoffs as 4 veteran execs cut. Atlantic Music, this is your Lil Uzi was on Atlantic. He's not on there more, but anymore. But he was on there. Lil Uzi, Cardi B. I can't remember most of the other artists. Oh, you got to subscribe to read the full story. Yeah, so amid Warner Music Groups, like I said, Atlantic is a subsidiary of Warner Music, the big three. Warner, which is the parent company, wants to downsize. They're trying to cut costs by $300 million. That's money. $300 million. Several veteran promotion executives at Atlantic Records were laid off at the label last week after decades in the trenches. Billboard has confirmed. Layoffs are going on in the music industry right now. That's not the end of it. They're going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. So if you think a label is going to come save you from your no Instagram posts, no Spotify uploads, no TikTok posts, no engagement, no streams, no fans, no traction, and they're going to dump a lot of money into you without you putting forth an effort, I got a bridge to sell you. somewhere, and just let me know. I got something to say. If you believe that, that's not happening. They're cutting off veteran executives. So if they look at an artist that's not doing anything for themselves, they're not going to sign you and invest in you. Or let's say they do sign you. You're going to get probably the worst deal that's ever been offered to somebody. Which I don't believe they would sign you, but if they do, like I said, you're going to get a horrible deal. Let's say you have a song that starts taking off and you have nothing going. Oh yeah, we'll market for it. We'll do your don't worry about posting. We'll do the post for you. We'll come up with all that, and then they'll do all that, and then they'll take all the money. So if your goal is just to get famous, cool, go ahead. But most people's goal is to make money and support their lives and their lifestyle. But yeah, they're not building artists anymore. Those days are gone. Now, my label at Daymar Music Family, I am into building artists because that's something that I love to do. But if I'm going to be honest, eventually, I would like to scale my business, multi-million, billion-dollar business. And I'm not going to have time to just sign an artist that doesn't do anything for themselves, doesn't market themselves, don't do no type of anything. I'm not, because that's going to be a waste of money. And if we're public and we have shareholders, then the company's job is to bring money to the shareholders. So that won't be happening. And like I said, I'm gonna use that word again. Marketing. You gotta learn to market yourself. Labels will assist. They're gonna assist you doing that, but they're not gonna do it for you. They're not. Me as a relatively, Daymar Music is relatively new and small label. I'm not doing it for any of our artists. I'm not gonna spoon feed them and whatever. No, man, you gotta want this for yourself, and I'm gonna help, and we can get there. But it's a team. It's teamwork. It's teamwork. If you're not doing your part, then it's not gonna work. We're not gonna work. That just is what it is. And that's me as with my label. So you can imagine on a bigger scale, like I said, one of the main three labels. Man, what's another thing? Oh, another truth that people don't understand, man. Streams are important, but you gotta be realistic. Like, streams, one, they take forever to pay out. If y'all have DistroKid or y'all have whoever, you don't just get paid right there. They take a while to pay out. It takes usually about 3 months to pay out. And they tell you that, hey, it's going to take later than 3 months. So if you get 1 million streams, you're not going to see that money anytime soon. It's going to trickle in. So that's just the way it is. And you need to know the realistic payouts, man. A lot of people don't look. They think 1 million streams, they think they got $1 million. And that's not true. We'll look it up again. Let's see. 1 million streams. Payout. Spotify. Excuse me. Generally pays between $3,000 to $5,000. That's a good amount of money. You're not rich, but that's 1 million streams. Let's see. YouTube. All right, 1 million. Oh, this is views. Okay, if you get 1 million views on YouTube, generate stream 1,000 and 20,000 in ad revenue, heavily influenced by the niche, audience, location, and viewer engagement. While average entertainment channels may earn 1,000 to 5,000, high CPM niches like finance or tech can exceed 10,000, 30,000. Short form content pays significantly less, often only $30 to $200 for 1 million views. So that's a bunch of words to say 1,000 to 3,000. That they use a bunch of words, but you're not gonna see a bunch of that. Let's look up Apple. 1 million streams on Apple Music generally generates between 4,500 and 10,000 plus in gross royalties, significantly higher than Spotify's average of roughly 3,180 to 3,700. Payouts are not fixed, often averaging around 0.007 to 0.01 per stream, depending on the listener's country and subscription type. They got so many methods, man, to tell you that you're not going to get paid a lot of money. I mean, they own all the metrics, you know. They own it all. They got it. So to me, you're better off building something on a platform that allows you to control your metrics. I know Spotify, on Spotify for artists, you're able to see who is listening, where they're listening from. So you can use that to kind of, pinpoint your marketing. If I'm getting more people listening to me in Austin, Texas than Dallas, Texas, then you need to position your marketing and to market more in Houston. So anyway, back on the stream tip. So as you see, 1 million streams is only about 3,000, 5,000. And if you don't know, it's very hard to get 1 million streams. But the best thing about the music business is it takes one song. If you have one hit song that can change your life, as we all know, we've seen with Old Town Road, Lil Nas X. Obviously, there's a bunch of people. I can't think of what's the other song? A guy named CJ. Whoopty. I don't know if y'all remember that song. Whoopty. That was a big song. Kind of changed his life. He was able to piggyback off that and do other things. That's the best part about our industry is one song can change things. But a lot of people think 1 million streams that you're rich, but that's not true. Another truth about the industry is, like I said, TikTok and all that is good, but man, it's a double-edged sword because it can hurt you as well. It can hurt you as well. I wish, everything was easy, but it's not. Like, you can have a song go viral and you looking like, oh man, finally, this is my big break. My song's going viral. We're doing good. I got things going. And it can actually turn on you. It can actually hurt you. And you're probably like, well, how does it hurt me? Isn't the goal to go viral? Pop Penny, you always preaching marketing and you're always preaching, put yourself out there, post, and you're telling me that it can hurt me as well? Yeah, it can. It can definitely hurt you. As you probably see with some artists, their song becomes bigger than them. I got one artist in my head. If your song kind of becomes bigger than the artist, it kind of means it's kind of going to be hard for the artist to come back on top, because the song is what's garnering the popularity. If you don't know if you can't figure out a way, you and your team, that's why I say build a team. If y'all have a song that goes viral, you need to figure out a way to attach the artist with the song. So the artist rise as the song rises, the artist does as well. And you keep your foot on the hype of the song. So when people think about the song, they still think about you. Tekashi 6ix9ine, he was someone that, he's very controversial. And despite what you might think about him, he was good at marketing. He was good at garnering attention from people. And he had a song go crazy called Gummo. But he was able to, even though the song was going crazy, he was able to rise with it as an artist and as a person. Obviously, he had rainbow hair, which a lot of people talked about. He had a bunch of tattoos. His name was 6ix9ine, a bunch of weird tattoos. To each his own. But that was his version of, I'm still going to keep the attention. I'm not going to let the song become bigger than me. I'm going to become bigger than the song, or be as big as the song. So, like I said, if you have a song that goes very viral and you don't grow with it, that can kind of kill your artistry. CJ was somebody like that. The song Whoopty, it was very popular, it was very big, and then to me, it got bigger than him, and he tried to kind of catch on. He tried to go to the Latin side, but that just didn't stick. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what's going with him right now, but not very relevant in the music industry. at this moment. So, uh, you know, yes, you should post. It's just the nature of the beast. You know, nothing's gonna be perfect. So there's something that's gonna be great that works great, and some things that might, might not work great. But that's when you and your team come together and figure some things out, you know, and that just is what it is. Um, a lot of people, to me, I'm very money oriented. Oriented. I think I'm saying that word correctly. Yes, the industry is important to me because one of the people I look up to is someone who's very prominent in the music industry, but it's not the only thing. A lot of people get lost in the industry. A lot of people, they just want to be a part of the crowd, man. They just want to make music so they can go, go to the Grammy parties and go live in LA and go, hang out with people and, do lives and say, oh, I'm in a recording session with uh, whoever, and they just want to be a part of the party. They don't really care for the money part. They just want to be a part of the club. And I mean, you can do that. If that's all you care about, then that's cool. There's a lot of people that like that in the music industry. They just want to be everywhere. They want to take pictures. And I don't think any of that is bad. I think you should find a healthy medium. Um, because you should care about your business as well. And you should care about your art as well. But a lot of people don't. They don't give a fuck. I'm being honest, they don't care. And that's their right. Some people don't want to be the best rapper. Some people don't want to be the best singer. They want to make a song, do it good, get invited to all the parties, go hang out with all the cool celebrities, and that's all they want to fucking do. Go out, get drunk, whatever. I mean, shit, that's cool. That's fine. Here at Daymar Music, look, live out your dreams, man. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Cool with me. I'm not, as long as you're marketing yourselves and you're trying to get the most out of you're doing everything we need you to do to make sure that you grow as an artist and to make sure that the label grows. Ain't no issue with me. I don't care. I'm gonna be making money, and that's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. Money is very important to me. It's not the most important to me. I don't love money, but this is what I do for. I got a family, so I gotta feed them. The job I'm at now, I'm tired of working for people, man. I mean, I get it, you gotta work and everything like that, but I'm not somebody who loves to have a boss. I'm not somebody who I gotta ask. I don't love having to ask, hey, can I be off this day? Hey, my son has a birthday and I need to take off. I don't have to ask fucking permission from nobody. Fuck that. Gotta, hey, what I look like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Dame Dash fan because you already know I'm Team Jay-Z. If you know, you know. Nah, Dame's cool. But shit, bro, he talked about this shit before. He was talking about the qualities and the perks of being a boss, being the owner. I got family members that run their own their own business. My granddad was who started his church and started a daycare. He owns his own business. He decides when he wants to wake up. He decides when he wants to be off. He decides when he wants to do whatever. Um, family members. My brother Yadi Ray, owns his car shop. Owner, CEO, all that. He wakes up when he wants. He goes sleeps when he wants. I admire that. I think that's awesome. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have jobs. I'm not downplaying people who have jobs. I have a job. So I'm not downplaying that. But the goal is for my business to be my mainstream of income. Um, but yeah, I think having a job is cool because it builds character. You have to learn to follow before you can lead, and that's what my job now has taught me. Is hey, learn from the world, learn certain things, learn certain values, keep what you think you should keep, leave out what you don't want, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. Like I said, my business and my label is besides my family is the most important thing to me. And obviously besides the Lord, you know, everybody know I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus. He's first. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Like my business comes. If I feel like you're hurting my business or you're bringing no value or you're wasting my time and no money, I'm respectfully, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We can still be cool. We can still be fam. We can still be all that. But it shit ain't gonna work with business wise. You know. So that's just the real right there. I know I'm going off on a tangent because we was talking about the music industry, but I just have to get that part out because I mean it is what it is. These lives will stay up. So for the people that miss certain things, I'm going through the truth about the music industry. Oh man, this is another big thing. This probably be one of the last points I hit on. If you don't find a team, if you don't build a team, this is very important. You need to build a team to help you achieve what you want to achieve as an artist. At first, you're probably going to start out doing everything on your own. You're probably going to start out editing your own videos. You're going to start out probably filming your own videos, filming your own content, coming up with your own content, coming up with marketing strategies, coming up with release dates. You're probably going to start off doing that on your own. But as you go on, you need to build a team. I'm not talking about your label's team. Your label is there to assist you, yes, but you need to build your own team who only has interest in you. Because a label has multiple artists. So they're, you know, catering to different artists who are all on their label. You need to have your own team. Some people that you trust and some people that you believe have your best interests and show that they have your best interests. Because the quicker you find a team, the more and the quicker you organize a team to where y'all can be well organized into strategizing how y'all going to attack whatever y'all need to attack or achieve whatever goals y'all trying to achieve. That is going to accelerate your progress in the music industry. That's going to accelerate your progress in the music business. Individuals will always lose out to teams. Always. You know, I started out doing all this at the moment, you know, with DMF. I'm doing most of the stuff on my own. I'm trying to, you know, raise money on my own and work and provide the money and strategize and speak with all my artists. Hey, what you want to do? And okay, you're going to do this. And, you know, I'm blessed to have artists that are forward thinking. Yadi Ray, Pesos Pennies, they're always, you know, either thinking about their own, hey, you know, I want to do a music video. I don't have to come to them and try to get them to do things. They willingly do it. That part is awesome because it helps me out, you know, as a label owner, because I don't have to think about that. I don't have to think about, oh, they need a video. Oh, they're already on that. We just shot a video. I don't know if Pesos Pennies is in this live. I want to show the video. We just did a video. What was it, last weekend? We just shot the video. Oh, let's go on let's go on this Instagram. Let's see. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's go on the Daymar Music Instagram. I think it should be on there. I think it'll be on there. I want to show some of the video. I think I got the sound on as well. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get on the stage. This is some of the video that we shot. Let's see if I can get the sound going, y'all.
Got money on my mind, weed on it all the time. Used to roll up dime, bags in time. Eyes red, I'm fine, didn't waste time. Had to get mine, even committing crime. Just for the money, man. Spend it on Mary Jane. We'll switch
it a little, not to be easy. That's just a little snippet.
got money on my mind. We on it all the time.
So he came up with the concept on his own. He came up with all that on his own. Um, but that's something that labels love is artists that are forward thinking, that want this and do what they can do to get their stuff out there. Let's go to Yadi Ray, because he dropped a video, Wannabe. He was live 5 days. Make sure y'all check out his lives. You know, I'm trying to get him to go live more. I think, you know, I hope he liked it when he did it. He did a great job. Let's see. There we go. So if I play this was he came up with the concept of the video. This is Wannabe from his album from last year with Love that released in February. You know, he was ready for a video. So we got hooked up with Robles Productions and we got the video shot. So like I said, this is something that he came up with. He came up with the whole concept and he brainstormed with the videographer, and this is what they came up. This is what they came up with. So let's play it.
Gotta get this money and I gotta get this bag. Cause my son been getting hungry and my wife's been looking sad. Gotta get this paper, gotta get this cash. Don't wanna be no hater, don't wanna stay on past. Don't wanna be the best, don't wanna stay in last. Just wanna be a dad. Just wanna be a dad. The best one I can be. Just wanna see him laugh. Just wanna be a dad. Just wanna be a dad. My baby, he's so gorgeous, see him smiling, I'm enjoying every single moment. I just try to just enjoy it. I used to want to smoke and just get high and fuck some hoes, but that took lots of effort, lots of money, lots of choice.
I don't know who that is. That guy need to lose some weight. I don't know who he is though. He's just some dude lying around. We just came and told him, hey, you know, you want to be in the video? And he was like, yeah, I'll be in the video. I was like, hey man, just act like you wiping down the car. So, you know, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man, for being in the video.
My mama always told me to take care of what you got, cause 1 second is there, and next second is not. I took care of my shorty, ain't gonna take more than a thought. I asked her to stay with me, baby, come and tie the knot. And fuck all of the bullshit, you know I can't ever stop. I try to change my music, change the beats, but I thought about the same things. My baby and my mom, my shorty and my pa, my sisters in the pod. The money I ain't got, the bitches that was thoughts, the breakups that was ugly and the breakups that was not. I'm folding dirty laundry, cause who folds it when it's not ready to be finished? You just rushing up the plot. Gotta get this money and I gotta get this bag. Cause my son been getting hungry and my wife's been looking sad.
That's just a little bit of the video. So, like I said, he came up with all that on his own, you know. So as he goes on, he's gonna like I stressed to him, like, hey man, get you a team, you know, find people, you know, they'll come across in life and you'll see who's really for you, who really wants to help. And man, y'all can attack the world, man. A team is very necessary in this music industry. A lot of people don't know that. They think they gotta do everything on their own. You know, that's it. That's it. One question I wanna pose to people, especially if you're an artist, and this will kind of let you know where you stand, is would you rather have 10 million streams or 10,000 loyal fans? So, you know, answer that to yourself if you're an artist. You know, to me, I'd rather have both. I'll take both. But no, if you have 10 million streams, then that's great because, you know, that's good for stats, it's good for numbers. You can leverage that for performances. As far as the industry, you can leverage that for not video shoots, magazines. You know, you want to be featured in Billboard magazine and be at the parties, which is fine. Be at the Grammys and all that good stuff. You know, 10 million streams is pretty good. That's pretty great start to probably get you somewhere in that room. 10,000 loyal fans is good for you as well, because you probably will make the most money because you can market your merch, music, you know, exclusive music and content, whether that's through Even or Patreon. you don't know what Patreon is, go look up into that. You can leverage that. You probably make the most money. Like I said, I'd rather my artists have both, but if I had to pick, I really couldn't, because like I said, I think both are very important. So like I said, this live was just to show the truth about the music industry, just giving some insight on really what the music industry is about and what really goes on. Because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about it. Is the music industry evil? No, I don't think it's evil. But you just need to know what you're getting into. You just need to know what you're getting into. A lot of people don't know what they're getting into, and now more than ever, there's outlets you can look into to kind of get good insights. Like I said, you can watch my lives, or you can find other people to listen to, and they'll give you good insights on what the music industry really is about, what it has to offer. It's pretty much it for tonight. Like I said, I'm probably going to be on stream tomorrow night. It's going to be late again, probably around 12, definitely after midnight, because that's easier for me, because my schedule just during the day is just not going to work. I'm definitely going to post in the community if there's topics that y'all want me to go over, if there's things that we want to go over, that's cool. We're definitely going to do some more live listening lives. I might do a live listening live tomorrow, to where I listen to music requests, independent artists only. You can be signed, that's fine. Not independent art, but I'm not, we're not playing Drake, we're not playing Kendrick, we're not playing Jadakiss, none of that. I'm listening to artists, up and coming or already established artists, people that want music. I'm not charging. It's not pay $10, pay $5, and I listen to your song. We're not doing that. Just, put the song in the chat and then we'll play it. So that's it for tonight. Like I said, it's Pop a Penny. Catch y'all next time. Thank y'all for being a part of the stream tonight. Appreciate it.